This is a WWN Publishing Group recording. Copyright 2016, all rights reserved. This is an abridged version of Killmore by Martha Sweeney to make the story appropriate for all listeners. If you want to read the complete story, you can find the ebook or paperback online. Links are provided in the description below. Killmore, Book 1 of the 2-book series. Read to you by the author. Chapter 6, Laurie. "Good morning, Laurie," Mr. Leonard greets as he walks by me on the sidewalk. "Morning," I return with a smile. "How's Esther doing?" "Good," Mr. Leonard sighs. "A visit might perk her up, though. I'll stop by after taking care of a few things," I reply. "Should I bring a few treats with me?" "You know what she likes," Mr. Leonard returns. "Just leave the bill on the counter and I'll pay you tomorrow." "Sounds good, Mr. Leonard," I answer. "Have a great day." "You too, sweetheart. Don't work too hard," he teases. "I'll try not to," I answer, opening the door to my cafe. "You either." The few townspeople who are in my cafe greet me warmly as I smile, nod, and walk past them, headed for the office. Cain and Mabel, my German shepherds, follow diligently behind me. I was kept in the special hospital for a week after I woke up from my coma. They claimed it was to monitor me, but I knew they were lying. They just didn't know what to do with me. The first night I was out, I realized that I was no longer in Florida and drank my sorrows away until I passed out. The next day, I managed to sneak away from the team that was assigned to protect and relocate me. It's not that I didn't want security, I did, but I was still coming to grips about everything. A few hours later, they found me in a local tattoo parlor. Somehow the cell phone they gave me got smashed, which bided me a little extra time. I didn't bother explaining how. It just didn't seem necessary. When it came time for them to move me here, my name had become Laurie Breitsprecher. "Morning, Laurie," Trudy, my head chef and baker, greets as I enter the kitchen. "Morning," I return. I settle quickly in the office, reviewing the past week's spreadsheets as the dogs lay on their beds behind me. Trudy comes in, placing a mug and a plate on the desk for me. Out of the corner of my eye, I see her place a few dog treats in the dog bowl and fills up their water as she usually does. "This past week has been a little quiet in the shop," Trudy begins. "Like it always is this time of year. Everyone gets ready for the tourists coming into town." I don't reply, which doesn't offend Trudy since our routine consists of me not always talking much, especially when she and I are around other people. "The doctor came in looking for you again," she says with her voice spiking up an octave. "He came in with Hunter, probably hoping to run into you, Cain, and Mabel." I refrain from commenting, not wanting to discuss that topic. "I don't mean to be nosy," Trudy continues, "but you haven't dated anyone since you moved to town almost 7 years ago." Trudy's been fishing for details about my past from me since a month after I arrived. I always evade the conversation and try to redirect it. "That's because I'm a lesbian," I snicker. "And there aren't any other lesbians in this tiny little lake town." "You're so full of shit, you know that?" Trudy comments with a snarky laugh. I huff amusement, but don't say anything. "Please, you've been sleeping with him for how long?" she returns. "Besides, whether you'll admit it or not, it's in the man's eyes. He's in love with you." "He'll get over it," I say, brushing it off. "I know you won't tell me what happened with your previous relationship to make you so cold to men, but geez, girl, give the guy a break. He's a good man," she coaxes. "If he's so good, then you date him," I comment coolly. "Fuck him too, for all I care." For as quiet and secretive as I am about my past, Trudy is one of the only people in this town who I get along with and trust. Mr. Leonard and his wife Esther are the only other two people, aside from Trudy's kids, and I've been more than just an acquaintance with the Leonards since they're one of my neighbors. Dr. Cody Johnson, the town veterinarian, also known as the man I've been sleeping with for 2 years, only knows me when I'm naked. He tries to strike up conversation before, during, and after sex, but I barely say anything. I only get my needs filled and then leave. Everyone else in town knows me, but they don't really know me since I'm generally quiet. It helps that I live on the opposite side of town in a decent-sized lakeside cabin. All of my neighbors are a half a mile away. The best part is that both houses on either side of my property are empty and haven't had anyone living in them for 6 months. Many of the lake homes, especially along my side of the lake, which is the east side, are rentals and are only used during the spring and summer. "Who else are you sleeping with?" "Wouldn't you like to know?" I tease. "You slut," she presses back playfully. "Yep, that's me, town slut and lesbian," I joke lightheartedly. "Is it any good?" Trudy pries. "It's gotta be good if you've been with him for 2 years. "I told you, you can fuck him too for all I care. So why not find out for yourself?" I remind. "Seriously? If I was with that man, no woman would be allowed to touch him, not even his mother. He's hot, she says, fanning herself. Trudy's been a single mom since her husband died. A few years ago, a drunk driver hit him. It was a hard time for her and her kids, Marcus and Jacob. Mike, Trudy's husband, was a good man. He loved Trudy and his kids and took good care of them. Like I said, I don't mind sharing, I comment. I'm just using him for his body. You're gonna break that poor man's heart, she charges. I'm breaking him in for you, I reply with a grin. He should be needing a mend and some good home cooking soon. It's about time I find a new lay. I don't want him thinking that this could turn into anything serious. Remember last time? I don't want that damaged of a man, Trudy challenges. I can't be fixing him and myself at the same time. If anyone could do it, you could, I praise. You'd fuck him into mending. I would, she boasts with a laugh. It would take at least a week or two, but I could do it and I'd be willing. I bet he'd enjoy it too, I remark. Lots of time for you two to snuggle and talk in between. Stop being so mean and heartless, she says. Don't you have some work to do, I joke. Ouch, Trudy answers. Maybe you should go see him today. Maybe he'll fuck that stick out of your ass. You're never this grumpy when you come in. Sorry, I say. I didn't mean it. Yeah, you did, she returns. I grimace. I still thank the great mother for you coming into my life 7 years ago tomorrow, even when you're a grumpy ass, she rips. Thanks for the reminder, I scoff. Love you too, Trudy replies. I'll handle the fort. You just do your thing and I'll make sure no one bothers you. Thanks, babe, I answer. You're welcome, she says, disappearing around the corner. An hour later, I leave the cafe and head to Mulford Hardware for some supplies. Hey, Laurie, a voice calls from behind me. I wince, knowing who it is. Hey, I greet with a fake smile. Hey, Dr. Cody Johnson returns, offering an awkward public hug. Hunter and I missed you guys this morning. He bends down and pets Kane and Mabel. Yeah, I sigh. I had a late start. The only challenge with being in a small town is that pretty much everyone knows everyone and can easily learn everyone else's behaviors and routines. I purposefully change mine up, not wanting to be as predictable. I was wondering if you wanted to come over later tonight, Cody states more than asks. I'll have to see how things go, I deflect. Hunter is missing his friends, Cody reminds, glancing down at my dogs and back up to me. I can't promise anything, I return. If I show up, I show up. Looking forward to it, Cody answers, as if I've already agreed. He kisses me on the cheek when I deflect his attempt from my lips. Have a good one. Thanks, I reply, walking away. You too. Why do men have to make it weird? I mean, I know women can too, but men are just as bad, if not worse. He's a good guy with a great body, but I just won't let anyone in. I won't let men in, not after Antonio, and especially not after Jack. Most men would be happy to be used for their body. If Cody was cooler about the whole situation, he'd get laid more often. But I have to keep my distance because he starts to get a little clingy. After running a few more errands, the dogs and I head back to the cafe to finish up the office work and have lunch. Trudy spoils the dogs and me with her fabulous cooking. Hey, you busy tonight with that hot doctor of yours? Trudy checks. Nope, he's busy, I lie. Can you come over and watch the boys for me? Do you have a hot date? I tease. Maybe, she returns. So, did you ask out Dr. Derek this time? I explore. Trudy huffs. No, besides, he's got a girlfriend. I figured I could take care of a few things for Marcus's birthday before next week. Sure thing, I answer graciously. A great excuse for me to avoid the doctor. Are you kidding me? You just said that he's busy. Yep, I return with a grin. Yep, as in you're kidding me, or yep, as in he's busy, Trudy pries. Yep, I repeat, not wanting to reveal anything. I'll make sure to tell him to stop by on my way out after you come over, she muses. Yeah, right, I laugh. You really want a horny man in your house when you're not there and I'm watching your kids. Trudy pauses to think for a moment. Good point. What time do you need me? Why don't you join us for dinner and then I'll leave once we've eaten, she suggests. 2 meals from you in one day? Man, I'm lucky, I boast. Please, I was expecting you to cook while I get ready, she goads. Besides, the food I cook is only good because you order the best ingredients. Fine, I'll cook, I answer playfully. Thanks, she replies. I'll get the boys from school at 2:30 as usual, so any time after that will be fine. Once I finish up here, I've got to stop by and visit Mrs. Leonard and drop some stuff off at home, I inform. We'll be over after that. Sounds good, she says, making her way back into the kitchen. 30 minutes later, Kane, Mabel, and I are on our way to see Mrs. Leonard. She perks up instantly when she greets me at the door and welcomes us inside immediately. I take over making tea and put away the goodies I brought from our bakery department and the veggie lasagna Trudy made. Our conversations are light and friendly even as we sit on the patio to relax. The dogs join Esther on the cushioned rocking bench as I sit next to her in the single rocker. If the doctor stops by to check on you, make sure he doesn't throw out all the treats I brought, I remind. I will, sweetie, she confirms. Besides, I always hide the good ones from him and Gerald. Good, I reply with a laugh. The doctor knows you make stuff that I can eat with my blood pressure the way it is, so he doesn't bother asking much anymore, she states. Good. He better not, I tease. I send him an email with a whole list of all the ingredients we use, minus the proportion sizes for each recipe. He means well, Mrs. Leonard encourages. I know, I say with a smile. How's his brother? Mrs. Leonard pries. Cody? I check. Yes, sweetie, she confirms with a widening smile. Good, I answer. Still wants a relationship. Can you blame the man? She teases. Don't get me started, Esther, I retort. She laughs at me, knowing that I only call her by her first name when I want to avoid a topic of discussion. Not all men are bad, Esther claims. Remember, I'm a lesbian, I say with a laugh. Lesbian my ass, she presses back. I might be old, but I know more than most give me credit. That you do, I agree with a giggle. Gerald and I may have been married for 49 years, but that doesn't mean I'm out of touch with reality, she presents. Not at all, I agree. Don't tease an old woman like me, sweetie. It's not good for my heart, she goads. You're full of shit and you know it, I return with a snicker. Am not, she chuckles, then sticks her tongue out at me. An hour later, the dogs and I stop home for a few minutes before heading to Trudy's for the night. I take the back road instead of going straight through town, hoping to avoid Cody as much as possible. Hey, Laurie, Jacob greets as I let myself in through the back door. The boys are at the table doing their homework. Hey, kid, I reply, giving him a hug. How's it going? I'm amazed how teenage boys don't mind a hug, even from one of their mother's friends. What's even more amazing is that Trudy still asks me to keep an eye on them. Marcus and Jacob are good kids. They've never gotten in trouble in school except for the first 2 months after their father died. I don't mind, and they're fun to hang out with. I've always helped with their homework if they ever have any when I'm over, and then we watch movies or play video games the rest of the time. They open up every once in a while, but I know they crave a man to talk to. Good, Jacob answers, returning to his seat. Mom's in the shower. Cool, thanks, I reply. Hi, Marcus, I greet, bumping my hip into his shoulder. He's so focused on his book that he didn't notice me. Huh? Oh, hi, Laurie. Sorry, he replies. What's got your attention? I ask while searching for food between the fridge and pantry. This book I have to read for class, he answers. I want to get it done so I can have the book report finished before the break. Which book? I inspect. The Great Gatsby, Marcus replies. Seriously? I say. Schools are still making kids read the classics? Yep, he sighs. Don't worry, I return. I'll help. Plus, they've made a few movies, so that should help with the general overview. We can watch one tonight if you want. Really? Marcus searches. Yeah, I confirm. Just don't tell your mom. I smile and wink at him. Don't tell me what? Trudy asks, coming from the living room area wearing a robe and drying her hair with a towel. Nothing, Marcus answers. That I was planning to feed them nothing but sugar while you're gone, I tease, deflecting her attention. Yeah, right, she laughs. How's your homework coming, boys? Good, Mama, they return. Make whatever you want, Laurie, Trudy suggests. I know it'll be good. Will do, I confirm. This is the end of this chapter. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying the story so far. To read the full, unabridged version, you can find a link in the description below. To find out about new releases before the general public, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. You'll find a link in the description as well. Also, to be notified when the next chapter is published, make sure you subscribe to my channel.